This is my recently acquired 996 Turbo. Here are 5 things I like and 5 things I dislike about this car. Okay, so first off, the number one thing that bothers me, which is kind of a mixture of things, is it is 20 years old. Part of that was the reason I bought it, but when you start to actually drive a 20-year-old car, it's really annoying. Everything is an event. Just going 5 miles down the road is an effort. You might like that. I'm kind of spoilt with newer cars that I get to drive, but 20 years old, it's old. So I've opened this to demonstrate maintenance, because that is the second thing that I don't like about this car. Again, leading on from it being 20 years old, there is so much maintenance. I've had this car since, well, November last year, so not a huge amount of time, and honestly, it spent more time in the workshop getting things done to it which needed doing than I have had driving it. Which brings me on to my third point. Porsche Tax. Everything is so expensive. All the parts are crazy, crazy money. It's not like if you've got a Beamer or even, you know, a Merc or an Audi, where everything is kind of reasonably priced. Any parts you need. With this, they seem to be an awful lot more money. That's your car alarm. The fourth thing I don't like about this car is it's got 4 seats, but the rear seats are completely unusable. Even for a child, they would have to have no legs, essentially, to fit them in here. The seat bottom is quite a good size, but there's just nowhere to put your legs whatsoever. I've got a little boy, but he has to have a car seat, because obviously he's a child, but you can't fit that in here. So it's no good, really. Completely pointless having 4 seats. And the fifth thing that I don't like about this car, the infotainment system. On the face of it, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too old, but there's so many things that annoy me with it. One, obviously it doesn't have any DAB. It also doesn't have any Bluetooth. But the most annoying thing is, and this might demonstrate it, that's the minimum volume. It's too loud. That's the lowest it can go without being off, and it's too loud. Why didn't it? Oh, I stalled it. But it's not all bad. Here are 5 things I like about this car. Excuse the squeaky clutch, that's more maintenance. Okay, so the number one thing I like about this car is that it has a manual gearbox. And that is something that is disappearing from modern cars. So it's something that is increasingly more rare and quite a novelty to have. The second thing I like about this car is that its size. It's quite small. Like cars, you forget that cars are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And 20 years ago, this was like, I don't know if it was big or small, I guess small, but it's definitely small now. Compared to a 992 generation turbo, or any 911 for that matter, this feels tiny in comparison, and that is really nice in today's modern huge car world. The third thing I like about this car is that even though it's old, the performance is mind-blowing. Obviously it's got 2 turbochargers, and with it being old, it's got a characteristic that you don't get these days in turbo lag. And that is, if you don't know, you put your foot down, you wait a bit, and then all the power comes in. This has got 2 turbos, so you wait a little bit, the first turbo comes in, and then the second turbo comes in, and then your hair sets on fire, which is what happened to mine, by the way. The fourth thing I like about this car is it's surprisingly rare. You wouldn't think it, but they only made 1,300 manual cabs. So my 5th favourite thing about this car is that 996s, particularly with the manual gearbox, are going up in value. So even if I don't make money on this car, I shouldn't lose money. So if you can buy a 911 and not lose money, you've pretty much won the game. And the sixth and bonus favourite thing about this car is that 996s of any type are getting good looking in their old age, particularly the turbo.